So I just want to show you the setup that I have here on the grass that I like so much. I have a bunch of pole exercise or footwork exercises set up that are useful for different things and different types of horses. And I love it because I can move from one to the other, or I can pick and choose for each horse, and whether the footing in that area is good or whether they've done it recently, might be bored by it. And it just gives me a whole lot of options for a fun and creative ride. So I'm going to go around to each one and show them to you a bit closer. This is 4 poles set at a walk distance, and they're different size poles, so the horse has to kind of look down and just evaluate and adjust. And right here I have a setup of 4 poles kind of all offset, so these can all be ridden one to the other. So there's so many different combinations. You can use different gaits, different bends. The footing is a little uneven going through, which is kind of great for footwork and balance. And a lot of them are just made up of scraps of poles that I just didn't throw away once they were broken. So some of them are just piles of poles, which maybe is not the most pretty, and also probably not even the most safe, but it's what you have, and sometimes you just have to adjust. So this is, I have 4 poles around the outside and a wagon wheel that maybe a 30-meter circle. There's 2 poles in the middle that are about 9 foot apart, so you could do walk, trot, or canter through them, and then a set of 3 trot poles. And these can be used for, we have mostly rehabs and dressage horses here, but at least a couple of them sort of like the idea of jumping. So however your horse likes to train over these, you can change and use these interchangeably. And if you have a clever horse or one that needs to be looking forward a bit more, you can go from one exercise to the next and teach them to look up and away and ask where they're going next. And a set of 3 at a walk pole. Now I have some smaller horses that actually can trot through the very far edge of these. These are narrow poles, so there's a little bit of an accuracy question as much as anything for a greener horse anyways. And the other side of the wagon wheel with the trot poles and the walk, trot, canter poles. And then there's my 3 walk poles over there, so you can go between them too if you want to change. I have 2 little lumps of logs here that you can do beginner jumping with if you really want to. And they sort of help divide that other end too, so if you want to space it off that way. Now another way you can use these all together is like a jumping course, or you could decide that it's a way to create your own dressage test between them and make an actual course out of each exercise by putting them together as if you were in the ring, where you only have one shot at it. So it's a good way to practice changing and coursework and memory work too, as well as quick thinking on your horse's part. You want them to be changing and adaptable and responding and alert, instead of sort of thinking, okay, yay, another circle. And here I have a fan or a couple of triangles, and so this is great for going not just over the poles but between in the open spaces, so weaving in and across, and you can make a pattern from this that's almost reminiscent of a carriage horse. So I'm hoping to drive a pony soon, and it may be useful for me for that as well. So I'm looking forward to finding even new ways to use patterns like this, but over the poles, and then you can walk and go through the fan, and we'll go there next. And that's the more advanced fan. So those are bigger poles. There's an extra one. They're spaced a little more challenged and definitive. And that's really nice for reminding the horse you have to open up and stretch, or to think about their feet again if they're kind of starting to look at where their friends or something, keeps them adaptive. So it just is a fun way to keep your horse forward and moving and create a different environment than just going around the ring all the time, especially if you're like me and you like to be out and about and feel like you're doing something. I don't really have any desires towards cross country right now here with these horses. There aren't people around a lot of the time to help supervise and make me feel safe doing it, but I can play with these questions and move from one to the other and make it a fun, packed in, educative day. And it's just as useful to use the spaces in between that can be really great guidelines or visuals for the horse or the rider. And then from there, I can move to poles and get something a little bit different out of her from them. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and have a great day. Bye.